Kepada semua peserta yang baru masuk untuk mengubah nama anda, letakkan nama penuh pada bahagian name supaya staf-staf kami dapat mendapati anda hadir pada hari ini. Terima kasih. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Pertama sekali saya mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih kepada semua yang sudi hadir pada pagi ini kerana sudi meluangkan masa bersama kami PASAK Pusat Aspirasi Anak Perak. Jadi pada pagi ini kita akan menjalankan satu program di mana program yang bernama Career Track. So dalam program ni kita akan adakan satu sesi tips temu duga dan penulisan resume yang akan disampaikan oleh Miss Mabel Wong Ying yang seorang yang berpengalaman dalam bidang HR selama 20 tahun. Jadi saya minta kepada semua untuk mute-kan sewaktu presentation yang akan disampaikan oleh Miss Wong dan sediakan pen dan juga nota untuk mencatatkan tips-tips penting untuk digunakan pada masa esok hari dan juga lusa. Jadi tanpa melengahkan masa, saya menjemput Miss Wong untuk memberikan pembentangan.
So I'm going to share screen.
Okay, sure. Diingatkan kepada peserta, sebarang pertanyaan ataupun soalan boleh saja diajukan di ruangan chat ataupun mengangkat tangan terus.
Can see the screen now?
Sure, can.
Sure. Rafiq, can you guys hear me, my voice?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. Loud and clear lah, right? Boleh ya? Okay, good morning, salam sejahtera. Terima kasih pihak PASAK for inviting me, okay? And peserta-peserta kat sini, alright? So, I'm going to give my talk in English, ya? So I campur-campur sikit lah bila ada BM semua ni, okay? So I understand esok ada career fair kan? So semua mari sini see what tips you can get from improving your resume and also improving how you're going to handle your interview tomorrow lah, okay? So I suppose some of you are working and some of you may be fresh from college, all right? So whether it's fresh from college or from at the moment working, I hope this session is going to give you some take-home points where you're going to improve your presentation tomorrow. So after that, hopefully dapat kerja, boleh belanja makan lah, pasal. Okay, all right. Okay, let's move on. So my name is Mabel. Okay, you can call it Mabel Wong. Okay, I'm at the moment EAP consultant. So dulu saya kerja HR, so 20 tahun lah. Lepas tu, after that, I went to study for my master's in counseling. All right, because that is what I want to do in life. So master in counseling, that means I'm also a licensed counselor. All right, so with licensed counseling and also 20 years of HR experience, I also have a master's in HR, by the way, so many years ago. So with this two qualification and experience, I am now an EAP consultant. EAP consultant is called Employee Assistance Program. That means I go to companies where they employ me on a part-time basis or piecemeal basis. And every time there is a project they needed me to go, I will go in to help solve employee problems. Employee ada problem dengan supervisor, ada problem dengan disiplin. And then employee sometimes they have mental health issues. Sekarang pandemic kan, semua orang ada mental health issue lah. So depends on the mental health issue, how bad is it, and how good you're coping with it. Okay, so that is what EAP consultant does. Okay, let me move on to what I'm going to present today. So basically, this 1 hour talk or so, I'm going to teach you something on resume writing tips. If you open the Google, you can get all types of resume format. Semua ada punya. Okay, you can copy and paste and all lah. Tapi what is outstanding about a resume? So I'm going to give you a tips, meaning that something that you can highlight in your resume. You already got a resume, right? I'm sure everybody has a resume already. So what you can improve from there that will make it stand out. Okay, that is called writing tips. And then how do you shine at interview? You open your Google, you find how to shine, how to talk in interview and things like that. But I am speaking from employer's point of view, because having 20 years working on the other side, okay? Employer's point of view, that means if you're going for an interview, what is the employer looking for? Bukan shop sendiri pergi interview, you akan shopkan employer so that employer will employ you. Okay, all right. So, and during the interview, what are the things that you don't do? And be aware, the things that you don't do, the no-nos at the interviews. And also, bila you dapat kerja, what are the star qualities at your job, at the first couple of months and things like that. So probably after that, then you can have a head start, okay, in your career. Okay, what is a resume? So resume is basically a document, okay, a document. It's a formal document. Formal means rasmi. Rasmi means you need to look professional, not that you're writing your love letter or anything like that. So those people who has gone to college, I'm sure that when you present your assignment to your lecturer, the lecturer would expect a very professionally done assignment, okay? Meaning the formatting, the language, and the typo error. So many, so you have to take into consideration. So it's a formal document, means it's a rasmi. Rasmi means it's important, okay? It's important. It has to be that important to interest a potential employer. Okay, if you're going to send me as an employer, if I get a resume yang font yang semua ada besar, ada kecil, ada font Times Roman, ada font macam patternnya, so that's not rasmi lah, because it's not standard. Okay, bukan professional. And you need to put a lot of work in your resume, even though it's maybe 1-2 pages. All right, 1-2 pages, because the purpose of that is to land you an interview. If your resume terbaik, tidak professional enough, not catching enough, not attractive enough, it won't even open the door for you to be called for an interview. So that's important, you know. It's a ticket to get inside the stadium to see football. That okay? It's a ticket to get inside the company, do the interview. Not talking about job yet, huh? So you need to have a very nicely done ticket that will win you the opportunity to open the door for an interview only. That is the first step. So it's important. So make sure that you do the right things. Huh? All right. So at the same time, in your resume, At the same time, so if you guys have any question, please put it in the chat box lah. I can answer the questions, no problem, right? So what you do is it's a formal document. You ada satu surat lamaran. This is your resume. After that, before that, there's a cover letter. Dear sir, I wish to apply application for this position. I wish to apply for this. I have so much experience, blah blah blah, that kind of thing. All right. So you will probably look at it's a formal document. It's a nicely written letter, very rasmi, and you need to express your interest. I wish to apply for this position, and then you say one paragraph, a little paragraph, about 3-4 sentences about yourself, a brief summary of yourself. I have 10 years of work in this field. I've been I am interested to further my career in your company by applying for this position. So it's a brief ringkasan. So I'm interested. Okay, I'm looking forward to a convenient time, which is convenient to you for an interview, for a discussion to further my interest in the position. Something like that. So this is a cover letter. You can get a lot of sample of cover letter in the internet. Tapi kalau you borrowing something from the internet, if you're copying something from the internet, semua ada punya. Tapi jangan, please do not copy bulat-bulat. Copy paste. Sometimes you forgot even to change the title. All right. You use the format from the internet, but you also make the letter your own document. You can borrow the format, you can copy and paste, tapi you kena tukar sikit sana, so to make it your own lah. That's what you usually do in college, right? Sometimes you copy and paste. A lot of us do research on the internet, then you copy and paste, and you put together that each assignment lah. Tapi you kena make sure that the flow is there, you understand what you're writing. So you can copy and paste, yes, but you make it your own. So you kena tukar to suit the occasion. Okay, there are some questions here, so let me look at it. Is it compulsory resume come with cover letter? Because sometimes I just send my resume without cover letter. It is compulsory. Okay, it is compulsory. So what you can do is, you make it part of your document. Your document is got 2 pages, your resume, but your first page is your cover letter. So it's very standard. Okay, very standard. So make it formal in that way. Because in your email, it's very difficult to write a cover letter. All right, so you send it together with your document. Easy for you, easy job. It's basically it tells that you know what you're doing. This is a professional guy, okay, who does this to an extent lah. So you give a good impression to the person who's opening up the email. Because HR, every day you'll be like tons and tons of email look at. So what is it that makes you stand out? All right. Yeah, what other question I have? Okay, resume format. The format is very similar in all the resume. You need to put in the name, address, contact info. Okay, these are the details. And then probably you want to do your academic education, and then the formal training, and after that your work experience in chronology. From young starting until now, or now from starting, macam tu lah chronology, okay? All right, work experience, been supervisor in this company, job title, supervisor in this company, the date, year, job title, and say something about what you're doing, all right? Supervisor of this line, something like that, in charge of a line. Achievement, if you have, pencapaian, project, headed the project in this company, or something like scholarship, this and that, voted the best employee of the month for this time, that kind of thing. Okay, usually people put reference at the end of the resume. All right, reference at the end of the resume. It's actually, to me, it's optional. It's optional. All right, usually people put the lecturer name. You put the lecturer name, and then also you put somebody who knows you lah. Of course, you don't put somebody who doesn't know you and somebody who doesn't like you. Usually we put people who know you, what you're doing, and people whom you think you got a good relationship with. So these are the people who can say something about you, if ever the HR manager calls these people, all right? So the reference is actually optional. It is, because if your resume not enough space, you don't put the two names there and the photo there and things like that, right? So you put reference will be provided on request, one line like that at the end of it. But macam tu, so you got more space for your resume, all right? And optional meaning that, but then you would have talk to two person that, hey, you boleh, cikgu boleh jadi saya punya reference bila saya apply for kerja, or your ex-boss or something like that. If you have a good relationship with your ex-boss lah, all right? That is, if you don't have a good relationship, please don't use the flag as reference lah, because you may not stand in a good light in that. So you would have already confirmed the dua orang, okay, so that you got on hand two fixed person. Usually people put the freshers first. Yang baru habis college punya, usually they'll put the lecturer or something like that, okay? Usually you put that lah. But I do not know lecturer will remember you or not. Like so many students putting their name as reference on. Okay, right. Usually HR as reference, what we do, if we want to employ the person after interview, usually HR to HR, we will call them your ex-company and talk to the HR person. That's what we do. All right, then you get the actual what do you call that, information about this person whom we are going to employ. This is what we do, all right? That's reference. Yang reference, you put there, not so important. I would have done that, call the person, at least one or two of your former work. So HR kita ada network macam tu. So the lesson is, if you're going to resign from this current company to go to the next company, or intending to go to the next company, every company that you resign from, make sure you maintain a cordial relationship. I won't say good, but cordial. That means on good terms. English call, don't burn your bridges. Don't burn your bridges. Okay, don't burn your bridges.
I want to know with EAC. Be alert with the instruction given about EAC.
As much as you may not like your former boss and all, maintain a cordial relationship, okay? I will tell you why afterwards, all right? Okay. Here you are, berapa orang reference nak kena letak dalam resume. Usually you put two, but you don't have to actually do that. You just show that reference will be provided on request. That means when they request a reference, means they're looking at your resume. You're one of shortlisted, that's what they're asking you. When they ask, then only you provide. But you would have on hand two confirmed person, all right? All right. Okay. Resume writing tips, dalam resume, so usually people have a tendency to write everything from the first job until now. So you will have to decide, okay? You will have to decide what are the relevant, important things. Strategic, yeah? Okay, let's say you're applying to become a manager. You would have worked 10 years already in your life. You're applying to become a manager, all right? So be strategic, meaning, all right? So probably you do not want to write something about when you're doing in primary school, or even doing secondary school some more. You're a librarian of this, librarian of that, you know, that kind of thing. So those are a bit irrelevant because you can actually customize, you sesuaikan you punya resume, make the information relevant to the future employer. You may not want to look at what you do in primary school, atau, you know, maybe the nearest thing you can put in is a college, and then the work experience is very important. All right, that is called strategic. Sesuaikan. You need to be strategic because this is very important. Your resume has to be only 2 pages. 2 pages, A4 size. So you have to put in all the information about you in 2 pages. Anything more than 2 pages, is too long. That is a tip, very important tip. Somebody think that everything I must put 4 or 5 pages also can, you know, very good because I got more things on me. No, because HR manager, when there is an important position, we have tons, you know, tons, macam ni, maybe applications, so much, all right, so much. And we do not really want to look at it. Maybe nowadays you would send email and then you see documents and your document is like 10 pages. How to see that? So you want to press everything and shorten it and make it strategic, make it relevant and customize it to 2 pages. That's the most. Anything more, we don't want to use a lot of time just flipping through resume, all right? Okay, very important, huh? All right, so that is 2 pages, huh? Don't put anything more than that, okay? But if you may be applying for positions like graphic designer, you need to send your portfolio, maybe another 1 or 2 pages, okay? You want to send your very good portfolio, 1 or 2 only, not the whole portfolio. Whole portfolio is a whole file, right? You don't send the thing. The whole file only you bring during the interview. Got resume, when you're sending application, you maybe send 1 page, 2 page, macam tu, the portfolio, all right? So you have two types, okay? And keep consistent with updates, huh? Updates, macam mana updates tu, updates, that means, okay, your resume is consistent, macam tu. So you update what are the new training that you applied. You want to take out the old line so that you can keep everything within 2 pages. That's called consistent update. All right. Okay. And you need to write a resume with the employer in mind. All right. You berfikir macam employer. If I'm the employer, would I look at this resume? Would I want to interview this person if I look at your resume? So if you think like an employer, then you know how to present yourself to the employer in the resume itself. Right? Bukan resume buat itu short sendiri saja. Everything I like about myself, I put inside there. Short sendiri, what for? Because if you don't interest the employer, no point also. So you have to think like an employer. Okay, all right. So I have some questions here. Let me look at it. If my resume is only in 1 page, is it okay, miss? All right, okay. Here, this person is asking, is it okay if it is in 1 page? Okay. Usually, if a person write like that is ini baru habis college lah, baru habis college punya. Okay. No work experience and things like that. So we will. Actually, I can. There is one section where I want to talk about what you can write in your resume. All right. Okay. If there's 1 page, pun boleh. Tapi if you want to put like, okay, you have to put like your details. Everything is already half a page, and then 1 page about what you do in college. All right. So try to make it 2 pages. Why? You can actually include relevant information about yourself. Maybe you did not realize those things are relevant. We will discuss that later. All right. You can write, let's say you at college, you are join any committee. So what do you do in this committee? All right. Other than that, you probably do some part-time work. Write those information inside your resume because it's relevant, because we know that you are freshie, you belum ada kerja experience. But other than study, other than doing things in your college, what other things that you do in your life? Outside college, we're looking at those information is very important. Okay, let's say you tolong mak jual nasi lemak beside the road. Just say part-time work, you can do that. Help mother with a nasi lemak business. It's a good information. It tells me that this person is not a person who doesn't do anything in life. It's just that he helps the mother because it's a family business. And it's a good character to have. These are important information. So during the pandemic, maybe you ada tolong NGO, pergi help the homeless, give out food. Those are important information. You put those things inside your resume. Do that. It's important information. Okay, you just one line only. Masa ni saya buat ini, masa ni saya buat ini. So those are very relevant information which you do outside of college, outside of work. These are the things that if I'm the HR manager, I like to see because it tells me a lot about this person. He doesn't only think about himself or herself, he also think about somebody else, somebody who has got the purpose and the heart to help other people. It's a good person to have in the company. All right, okay, we move on. Okay, there's further questions here. Kalau tak silap, what's the difference between CV and cover letter? What is the reference between CV and resume? So there is this questions here about what's the difference between CV? CV is curriculum vitae. Okay, resume. Okay, tak silap, CV is also cover letter. No, it's a different. CV is a more extended version of the resume. Okay, it's a very extensive CV. It can be about 4 or 5 pages of yourself. All right, but when you apply for application, when you apply, you would give a resume 2 pages. CV is something that you can bring during the interview. All right. Cover letter is different. Cover letter is the cover letter. It's a formal cover letter. All right. Okay. CV, somebody wrote here, is curriculum vitae, something like that. All right. Okay. Usually people say resume. All right. Resume is a shorter version of the CV. Employer just want to look at resume first, then only when you come for interview, then you ask for the CV. Okay, I want to highlight some of the resume mistake. Yeah, what you do in the what's the mistake that you look at. So if you look at this documentation, they're macam ini tak formal kan? Macam ini formal, is very nicely structured, you know. So if you look at the picture here, you like this format. They're very neat and tidy and very professional looking. This is not professional. You look at all the font and all the, you know, and all the formatting, you know, to the extreme and all. So this is something it shows you that you need to be professional, even for the eyes. Bila tengok pun you rasa professional, sedap punya. Okay, all right. Okay, problem. Some of the mistake that people do, writing too much text. Terlalu banyak nak tulis. Because probably this is the only job that you had and you write 1 page on this job or half a page on this job and things like that. Writing too much about yourself. Like I say, everything within 2 pages. Don't write too much. Just put the relevant facts and make your resume very strategic. Okay? And font do fancy font, some italic, some not italic, some bold and things like that, right? Maybe you want to bold the topic. Yes. The title, small title, yes, you bold it. Tapi jangan sini flower font, that one flower font, make it very, you know, flowery and things like that. Yang formal punya font, yang rasmi punya font, usually in business, it is we use Times New Roman. Times New Roman. It's usually what we do lah. All right. If your document is only 1 font only, no need to change here and there, just 1 font. And your email address that you put in your resume, make it professional, not unprofessional email address. The personal email address, people like to put in their own personal, what they call that, identity. Sweet Salma, or Dark Lord is here, terminator@gmail.com. That one is, you know the kawan punya, okay? You please, when you are applying for a job in your resume, go and create a very professional email. That means you only use your name. Like me is wongkingying@gmail.com. But from the name itself, you know it's me already. So no running away. So that one is professional, okay? Not all this fancy one. The fancy one you can keep for your friends. Tapi in your resume, you put this professional email. All right? So time maybe when you put in your email resume, is before tomorrow you go and you create a new Gmail, a professional looking one, okay? All right, just usually you put your full name lah. Senang aja. Okay, in your resume, employment gaps, employment gaps. Kemudian ada jurang pekerjaan. So you sudah come out from college for the last 10 years, and then in your employment sana, first year when you finish college, you got work. Okay, you work in the first year, and then after that, 3 years tak ada kerja. Then your next job is, a different year. And inside there is one jurang there. There's one employment gap. So as employer, we will look at what have you been doing in that 2 years when you're not working. We want to know that, okay, if, a very sharp HR manager will be able to pick up this kind of thing. So you better be prepared. Be prepared when you are going for an interview, an explanation which is acceptable. All right. Usually, we will do that. So it will depend on what you want to say during that time during the interview, the employment gaps that you have. Or okay, masa tu 6 months or 1 year, my mother was sick, so I have to stay home and take care of her. So some of the things that you can say, but it has to be true be truthful But employment gap we're looking at, because sometimes we know people who have problems with the law, and then for the 2 years they were put in jail because maybe after college, masa kerja, you join the wrong company, then you get into trouble, and then have to go to jail for 2 years, that kind of thing. So this is information you may or may not tell during the interview if you're asked, unless you're asked. Okay, so you will have to decide whether you want to tell or not. It shows sometimes honesty, dishonesty, something like that. All right. So okay. So you have to decide. But what I'm saying is, in your resume, when there are employment gaps, be ready to explain what happened to yourself during that time. Okay. And in your resume, please, before you send out, proofread lah sikit. So spelling, grammar, punctuation errors, that kind of thing, typo error, these kind of things the computer can check for you. Just spelling check, grammar check, semua ada punya. So the computer will be able to change for you, right? Okay. And punctuation errors, okay. I do not know, but I've seen a lot in younger generation, their English, the punctuation is like when they want to say something, the whole paragraph, there's no full stop, no comma one. Want to say something and then after that 4-5 lines, baru dia full stop. No comma, no nothing, just there is no punctuation, no comma. Because you say something, sometimes you need to have comma and then try to make the sentence short and precise. Good English is short and precise. Simple. You need simple. You don't have to use bombastic Oxford English. All right. Itu England punya orang buat asli tak payah punya. So you just have to. Business writing is about simple English, short sentences. No need one paragraph punya. Baru full stop. So you need to check first. If you think that you want to make your resume more professional, you give it to a friend who has got good English a bit to proofread for you. Let him read, let him check, then come back to you. Because sometimes when we do things ourselves, we don't see the mistakes. Okay, we don't see the mistakes. Just do that for yourself. So your resume is professionally done. You only have to do it once. After that, you update here and there, all right? Do it once. Avoid this person don't care impression. So if you are an employer or if you are an HR manager, if you look at this resume, do you want to see this person? Do you want to give this person the chance to open the door and come for an interview? So elakkan yang people have the impression that you don't care. I can see the attitude of the person from the cover letter and from the resume. Because little things that you do in your cover letter and resume tells so much about you. You know, orang don't care about typo error, don't care about spelling, don't care about formatting, don't care about putting in the relevant information. Tulis pun macam SMS punya language. Oh, this kind of resume, I don't even have to look at it. Straight away go to the bin. Straight away go to the bin. So it has to be professional looking. So if I have this person, I don't even want to give this person a chance to come in for interview. Ya, this person attitude macam ni, macam mana kalau masuk kerja? Susah untuk orang. Okay, I do not want this kind of person to come into the company. So your cover letter and your resume are very important. So it has to give people the impression that you are a detailed person, a careful person, a person who does the extra mile, who put in a lot of effort in this just 3 pages of things. This is the kind of person with a good attitude. This kind of person I want to come into interview at least. All right, at least. All right. When we want to, there's a question here. When we want to submit resume, soft copy, better in what format, such as JPG or PDF or Words? Okay, usually you send in PDF form. Okay, PDF form. Not JPEG. Okay, PDF is the official document that you send for resume and things like that. Tapi dalam you punya own PC, you do it in Word form, so you can change. PDF cannot change, so people cannot tamper with your document. All right. Okay, at this point, this is a very important point. Avoid how people look at you. So you have to give people a good impression in the little things that you do. All right. In your resume, what are the special things that you put bahan-bahan yang give you star quality? What are the star quality we're looking at? Like the person said just now, 1 page what to put in. Tak ada apa yang lain. Tapi, okay, like I say, achievement you put in, all right, very important. Scholarships ini, pencapaian as the best worker for this month. So those things you please write down, okay, for your own good, all right. Involvement in COCO, okay, penglibatan dalam COCO, masa college. So okay now, a lot of college students, they just put a member of this, because you have to be member of this and that, right? Because you need the COCO point to graduate. So people just put their name there, tapi dia macam sleeping member saja, dia taruh nama saja, tapi tak ada apa-apa kan. Okay? Okay, if you can help it, right? So can you please highlight something that you do? Or I've been a committee member in this and I was in charge, a little bit further, in charge of doing recruitment. I was in charge of doing fundraising. So, okay, fine, this person is doing fundraising for that particular project. Okay, please highlight those little things that you do. Yang ada buatnya. Don't just say member of this and then sleeping member macam tu, because you didn't highlight. It's not that you didn't do, you got do, but then you didn't highlight. So highlight a little thing, can, as little as it is. Part-time work experience, kerja sambilan. Of course, kerja sambilan, when you're applying to become a senior manager, this kind of thing you don't have to put already lah. Okay, because it's masa you work kerja sambilan, you were like 20, 19 years old. Now you're like 45. That one is not relevant anymore. Okay. But if you're fresh from college, you're only about maybe 22, 23, and your part-time work experience is important, because nowadays the kids, when they are having holidays and all, school holidays, they will go to work at KFC, at Cots Mammoth, and all those kind of things. So you may want to put all these things in. Yang just now the candidate say 1 page what to do. Only 1 page, you cannot fill in anything. But if you have any part-time work experience, please put it in. Then, because during the interview, I would want to ask, at least you work 6 months in Cots Mammoth, or you work 6 months in Mr. DIY. You buat apa kat sana? Oh, saya kerja kat store. Oh, very good, store. You know, when you work in this kind of places, when you work in the store, it's very hard work. You kena buat a lot of work. You kena do a lot of lifting. Very dirty job, you know. It's not easy job. Okay. Or I was working in part-time. I was working in hotel. What were you doing in a hotel or homestay? I was helping in the housekeeping. Wow, housekeeping, young man, very good. Young girl, housekeeping is tough job. It's dirty job. After the guests go off, you have to go into the room and clean all the sheets, clean the toilet, clean the whole room and things like that. And it's tough work. Not one room, but so many rooms, you know. Especially you work in big hotels, macam Genting, macam tu. Oh, so many rooms, thousands of rooms. Your shift, you would have died working and things like that. So those are very tough experience, but it actually shows that the person is humble enough to put in the hard work. And we as an employer would appreciate the kind of attitude in a young person. Please put in the kerja sambilan that you have been doing. All right. Tolong mak, okay, with the nasi lemak, or tolong kat mamak sana, okay, that mamak stall help in the waiting and all, cuci lantai semua, put it in. Those are very important things in your life because it helps build your character as who you are now. Put it in. Okay. All right. For maybe some people they dare not put in, ayah nyaman lah, kerja sambilan saja, takut lah, not very big thing, but actually to future employer, those are star factor that we're looking at in a person. Your academic qualification maybe gets you the appointment, but after you're at a job, we're actually looking at your work performance, and work performance comes from your attitude, LEQ. All right. So those part-time work experience actually helps you to grow as a person at maturity. So that's important attitude. You want to put in the community project that you've been and what you got involved in. All right. Community project community project is about something you do outside school. Outside school, all right. Helping in feeding the hopeless, helping in going to a orphanage. So those are very important because okay, other than just focusing on your studies and things like that, this person also has got a heart to do things which is outside. All right, those are very important factor to look at. So put that one in. Put that one in. Do that. All right. So probably what you do is, if you have not enough, we have very empty space in the 2 pages. Probably you want to put at community project. I was involved in this community project at this shelter. Okay, at this shelter for all this orphanage, and in there we have to clean the house, we have to painting and all these things. All right. So you can also add something like, in this project, I learned how to be grateful because I have a home and these people is staying there and that kind of thing. So you learn, do something a little bit extra there. It's good. It's a good thing to add in. All right. There is this question here that say, how many colors can put while do the, how many colors? Okay, format is only black and white. What color are you talking about? Unless you are doing black and white. You got black and white, that's all. Your printing is in black, all right? The paper is white. Don't put a pink paper or yellow paper just to put in the color. The rasmi is black and white, okay? All right. If a person only work for 2 or 3 days, is it necessary to put in the resume? 2 or 3 days, depends on what you're doing lah. If you find that 2 or 3 days is relevant, then put in. If you think it's not relevant, then don't put in lah. All right, okay. The community project 2 or 3 days also, if you think it's relevant to show your character, then put in, by all means. All right. Okay, move on from here. This is important, especially if you are applying for scholarships and all. These are very important factors to look at now. Because kids when they college and all, the master college also to apply for scholarship, semua pun string of A's, straight A's, semua pun head prefect, athletics, but everything is within the school environment. The panel of interviewers also look at sama saja how to give, who to give the scholarship and all. So they are looking for extra factor that they make this person shine. So if you have something that you do outside of school, outside of work environment, that is your star factor. That is your star factor. Please, whatever you do outside work, you also can put in lah. All right, if it is relevant lah. All right. Okay. Okay, we move on. We kind of have a 5 minutes break before I move on to the next. Okay, pergi angkat kopi ke apa? Alright, we have a 5 minutes break. But now, if you have any question, please write in. Alright. Questions. Let me look. Okay, let me look at the question first. All right. Okay. Okay, it says the COCO involvement must put what year, like from secondary school or college. Basically, if you have lots of those, probably you would, yeah, you have to put in the year if you have lah, right? So probably you want to put in during a range, because masa you study kan ada range kan 3 years there. So within the 3 years you can put lah all the activities that you've done and things like that. But you can highlight those year if you are particularly involved in a project, okay, where you are heading a project because you're holding leadership position. That probably you want to put in the very particular one lah. All right. Perlu ke sertakan sijil untuk setiap kerja? No, you don't sertakan sijil in a resume because your resume is only 2 pages plus a CV plus a cover letter is 1 page, so 3 pages. Okay, you don't sertakan unless they ask for it. So you will use those certificate, all right? Unless they ask for it, then you send your certificate in PDF version and things like that. All right. Usually you will put a certificate in your portfolio. Portfolio means you ada satu file kan, untuk plastic punya file, then you put in all your sijil, everything. So you pick this file to the interview. All right. And then let's say if you have been working for 10 years, there are few the field certificate which is not relevant, so you take those out. So every time you go for interview, you have portfolio, you move folder, you have the update lah. Whatever is not necessary, you take out, then you put in the necessary one lah. All right. There's one question that asks, is it necessary to put additional information such as driving license and willingness to travel in resume? Okay. Driving license, willingness to travel, usually if you're applying for a position in marketing, usually they will ask that lah. So it's relevant, okay? If your job do not require to travel, then it's not relevant to put in there also, it's okay. All right. Okay, yang satu lagi, okay, please, very good questions. Keep those questions coming in. Okay, do that, huh? All right. Okay, let me move on from here. Okay, the second part of the talk is about interviewer, masa interview temu duga, what are the things to look up for? All right, what are the things to look up for? Okay, if the interview like tomorrow, there's a question, if the interview like tomorrow by Zoom, then how the panel want to watch our certificate? This, all right, good question, all right, okay, all right. Then probably you will want to, you should have sent resume kan, soft copy kan, all right, soft copy. So you would ask the panel whether you want the soft copy of your certificate masa interview, okay, all right. So you want to do that. Nowadays email very easy. But I suppose it's up to you whether you want to send or not send lah, because you will use your this one in another folder. You will send your resume and CV one, and then relevant certificate one folder. Masa you interview lah, masa you send the email, you can also do that. Not a problem. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna do the interview part, right? Okay, before I move on from there, let's watch a video on interview. Mana tu? Please move this video away from. Where's my video?
Awal tahun.
Baru habis sekolah. Mengapa resume tulis masa kerja ada 3 tahun dah?
Sebab saya kira termasuk otis sekali. Awak nak minta gaji berapa? 10,000. Awak baru kerja 1 tahun nak minta 10,000? Bekas bos saya cakap, position gaji saya 3,000 hingga 10,000.
Kami perlu orang yang otomatik boleh belajar sendiri.
Ya, saya boleh belajar.
Kalau awak jumpa rakan-rakan awak lewat masuk kerja,
Saya boleh belajar dengan dia.
okey. Kalau pakai holiday kena kerja, awak boleh terima tak?
Boleh? Kalau hari kerja saya tak masuk, awak boleh terima tak?
Company kita tak payah kerja lebih masa, awak boleh terima tak?
Saya kerja tak nak gaji lah. Awak pulau ke? Awak yang bergurau dengan saya dulu.
Kenapa awak datang company kami interview?
Sebab company awak tengah cari pekerja kan?
Maksud saya, kenapa awak pilih company kami bukan pilih company lain?
Sebab company lain tak call saya pun.
Boleh anda bagi saya satu alasan kenapa saya nak pilih awak?
Bukan company awak ke yang nak ambil orang? Awak lah yang kena bagi alasan.
Okay, tadi itu interview, right? You are not supposed to do that, okay? Not supposed to do that, please, all right? Challenge the interviewer. You think you're very smart, okay? But that was a fun thing, like it's a fun thing. Okay, what I'm going to do now is, all right. So let me look at how to shine at interview. Masa interview, macam mana ada prestasi yang cemerlang, yang boleh sikit punya, all right? So these are some of the major things that you look at, how to shine at interview, all right? Okay. First of all, of course lah, itu pakaian yang betul lah, the appropriate pakaian lah, okay? Unless you are going to interview to work in a gym, then you can come in shorts and t-shirts, something like that, all right? Other than that, appropriate. Macam ini photo that tie and all this kind of thing. So maybe blazer tak payah lah, blazer to tie and proper shirt maybe. All right. So maybe you are applying for supervisor, executive, all right. Then you just have a nice shirt and a tie if you can. Kalau manager level pakai lah blazer sikit, coat ke apa. Okay. Yang perempuan lagi senang, you just pakai baju kurung saja. It's very senang lah. So for the Malays and all right, very senang. So okay. Be on time. Tepat masa. When I say be on time, all right. Okay. Sekarang semua Zoom kan, so tak payah go drive to find the factory, find the place of work and things like that. All right. So be on time meaning that 9 o'clock means masa 9 o'clock baru masuk mula like that. So if you're driving to the factory, you at least have to arrive at the factory at 8:30. If the interview is at 9, arrive at 8:30. Okay, because you want to prepare yourself for searching for the place and things like that, and then you pergi counter sana, pergi reception sana, then you sit down, then you teramkan, you calm down yourself, you know, dan teramkan sendiri. Get your thoughts together. At least half an hour early is to prepare yourself mentally. Yeah. Okay. Even online, you need to prepare yourself. Before the online said 9 o'clock, you masuk 8:15, 8:45, at least about 10 minutes earlier, something like that, to show that you're on time. Early. So on time means early, but not too early. 1 hour early macam tu lah, bukan macam tu, but maybe 15 minutes. Or half an hour if you're going physically, something like that. All right. Before the interview, you research the company. So company have to ask you to come for interview, the kind of things. You need to do a little bit of research in the company. You boleh Google sekarang, you can see everything about the company, who's the boss, what product are they doing, how many branches do they have, how many factories do they have, berapa orang dia ada, berapa kerja dia ada. So research the company, especially on the product, what do they do, all right? So research again, all right? So that shows that you're doing your homework. You can use those information in research. So masa interview, you boleh tanya, I understand the company is doing this product, you know, do you think, what does the company is, you know, how do you think of expanding? Or I understand that you guys are, company is going to China. So I just very interested about that line. You know? Can you tell me a little bit more? Something like that, all right? Ask the right question. Okay, if you do not know anything about the company, if you don't do research, you don't have any question to ask. So what are the questions to ask? So there's one question here. Let me look at it first. All right, no, nothing there. Ask the right question. What are the questions to ask? If you don't know anything about the company, if you don't do any research, macam mana you tahu? Okay, all right. You can ask, what kind of a person would you most like to see fill this position? You're actually interested in a position, and then you ask them, the interviewer, what kind of person would you like to see fill the position? These are something that you're interested, right? So what do you think is the best thing about working in this company? Not what do you think would be the benefit working in this company, but maybe the interviewer will tell you their experience working there and things like this. Shows that you are interested in the company. So something relevant lah, something relevant. Can I ask this question here? Can I ask the question, do you have training for employee? Do you have training for employee? You want to ask so direct? So maybe you ask, may I know, would this position, before this position assume anything, would there be training program going on for employee? Yes, you can ask, do you have, does the company have a forward progressive training program for employees? Usually other training punya company, because every company they pay HRDF ma, so HRDF fund is for training ma, so they would have that, all right, they would have that. Not so direct, but something like that. Yeah, not so direct, something like that. Yeah, you just want the information, right? You just want the information. Prepare answers to potential question. Ini, okay? Just you need to prepare yourself. Siapkan, sediakan jawapan untuk soalan yang berpotensi. That means what are the possible questions that the employer will ask? Okay, the interviewer will ask. So these are quite standard, actually. So employer will probably ask something like, I'll go into that later, because it shows that bila you should have prepared, at least in your mind, or you should have practiced the question in your answers in your head, and then you practice at home. You tak ada gabra, you know, when people ask you, you don't like anxiety, you know, sudah panic, tak tahu cakap apa, you know, that kind of thing, all right? So probably a lot of employers will just ask in the interview, tell me about yourself, because tell me about yourself is very open, and then it gives you an opportunity to talk about yourself, all right? When they say tell me about yourself, it's not about, oh, I was born in Paris, so everything is like 10 minutes, you're talking about your family already. You can talk about your family in a very brief manner. So I have a family of 5. My parents are still with me. I stay with them. I got a sibling above me, that kind of thing. So very briefly do that. I have a background in HR. Okay, I've been working for the last 10 years in HR, and this is the company that I'm applying for. The position I'm applying now is something that I look forward to. Okay, and this is the time to talk about yourself. Just focus on 3 selling points which you find that is relevant to you in this position. In this position, 3 selling points. The 3 point are very relevant. So if you don't prepare this beforehand, you will not know what to say about yourself. So this is part of very important preparation for you. Okay, 3 selling points which you think is going to help you look good and impress the interviewer. Okay, 3 selling points. They make you look good, and that is very impressive Okay, please go and prepare 3 starting points. If the employer asks you, tell me about yourself. If you don't prepare this beforehand, you will not be able to say very smoothly, very confidently, because when you prepare, you can talk confidently about yourself. Some people, they just don't have that confidence to do that. If you don't have confidence to do that, talking about yourself, all right, practice. Not everybody is born to be able to talk well, you know. Go and practice, all right, because the interviewer is not looking at somebody who can talk so well, who can talk very good English or very good Malay. They want somebody to look at somebody. What homework has she done? Has she put in the effort before the interview? All right. So prepare yourself well. Okay. There's a question here. Okay. The question here says, can I interview? May I know why the previous employer who hold this position resigned? I think this is something very sensitive. I may not want to ask that long. I may not want to ask that long. All right. I think it's not a proper platform to ask that long. All right. I'm going for this position, and then may I know why the person left? No, I think it's something very personal with the company. I wouldn't ask that. So it's not an appropriate question to ask. All right. If I suddenly forgot the words in English, can I mix it with Bahasa? I think it's okay lah. This one, Malaysia is Dewi Bahasa lah. Okay, Dewi Bahasa. Boleh guna. Tapi to me, it's not a problem lah. Okay, it's not a problem. As long as you're able to hold the conversation. All right, hold the conversation. If manager asks about the reason we resign, find a new job, is it necessary for us to be honest and state that, for example, we resign to the company incapability to pay the salary? Wow. Like I said earlier, even if you want to leave the company or resign from this current company, do not say any bad things about this company. Do not, even though they are very lousy employers, they underpay, overwork the employee. Afterward, I will tell you that why. You don't say bad things about your company. Just say something which is very forward-going, very acceptable. So I'm looking for career progression. Yeah, I'm applying for this position because I'm looking for career progression. Okay, so everybody does that, but you want a next better job, a career progression for yourself. Now, improve yourself, career progression. So don't have to give the actual reason, blah blah blah, that kind of thing, why you're resigning. Okay, I think that's acceptable. All right. I hope that answers your question. All right. Okay, what else? If retrenchment caused by COVID-19. Okay, thank you. What do you mean by that? If retrenchment caused by COVID-19, you can say that I'm looking for a job because I got retrenched due to COVID-19. Company was not doing well. Company tutup. You can say that. It is a very official fact. Everybody can accept that's happening. All right. Okay. Let's move on from here. Usually they will ask, what are your strengths? Your strength, this is the time to sell yourself. All right. You can put it in 2 parts: your technical strength and your personal strength. All right. You can highlight those. Technical strength is I've been working in the supervisor position. I know that kind of thing, and then I'm very good in this machine and this kind of thing. Personal can be leadership skills, that kind of stuff. So your strength. So you please prepare yourself lah. If you prepare yourself well, you will know what to say. All right. Just about 3 technical points and 3 personal points. Enough. Don't have to too much, or two each. All right. Another question comes in before the interview. May I ask if the panel want me to speak in English or Malay to the panel before I introduce myself? Depends. I think depends on the position that you are applying for. All right. Usually English is used, but if you want to revert to Malay, you have to ask permission. All right. Usually English is used in commercial interviews in private companies, depending on position. Let's say you're applying for pekerja arm or operator macam tu. So Malay is acceptable. Alright, Malay is acceptable. So during the interview, if you're not very fluent in English, so you can ask permission, can I campur Malay and things like that. So they won't take that against you. Okay, but okay, so they're not looking for Oxford English or that kind of stuff. So be able to talk and converse and berbual dengan senang. Okay, macam tu. Alright. Okay, I hope it answers your question. So the other question that the interviewer will ask is, what are your weaknesses? What are your weaknesses? Apakah kelemahan Anda? So usually, this is a technique. You can turn your weakness into your advantage. Turn your weakness into strength. If you look at this paragraph, it says, okay, my greatest weakness is that I sometimes have a hard time letting go of a project. After I finish a project, I cannot let go of a project. That means you are a person who's very driven. Okay, very driven. You like to what do you call that? Responsible, very responsible person. Okay, I am the biggest critic of my work. I am. So bila saya work, saya kritik saya sendiri. So you are the person who make sure that you are perfectionist, and I can always find something that needs to be improved or changed. You're always very forward going, you always critique yourself, you're always improving yourself. So to help myself in this area, I give myself deadlines for completion. Any other deadline, other planning? That means the person plans very well, work very hard, very responsible, and improving all the time. So if you can see this, you actually turning your weaknesses into strength. So the employer will be very impressed with this person. Okay, with this person. So prepare yourself, one or two weaknesses, and then turn it around for yourself. If you don't prepare, you don't know what to say. You don't know what to say, okay? All right, there's another question here. Can I honestly say that I don't have much experience, but I'm willing to learn and go for the further training by the company? Okay, first part is nice. Second part, okay, like macam ni. So the employer will employ you, right? So we expect you to perform straight away, all right? But the first part is nice. You say, I don't have much experience in this position, but I'm willing to work hard and learn. Stop. Enough. That's what we're looking at. So you say, for further training by the company, of course will train you lah. Skills can be learned. Attitude cannot be learned. If the person comes with a bad attitude, you can't change much, all right? So the attitude is very important. I don't have much experience, but I am willing to learn. I'm willing to work hard. That's very good already, okay? Provided company give me training lah. Save the part lah. Of course, you want to say that, but save the part lah, all right? Save the part. All right, okay. Why should we hire you? There's another question that I'll answer. It is something that when they say why should we hire you, is probably not so much to challenge you lah, but they just want to see how well you present yourself, how confident you are, the way you present yourself. So try not to saya boleh buat ini, saya boleh buat itu, saya experience ini, saya tahu ini orang, saya tahu itu orang. Don't oversell, okay? Just be truthful, okay? I may not have much experience, but I'm very willing to work hard, okay? And highlight the ability to learn fast and perform. I'm a fast learner. I'm also a hard learner, I work very hard, and I think I will be able to perform. That's important. I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to put in the extra time, okay? So you need to sell yourself, but don't hard sell, don't oversell, all right? Because when a person oversell, you come up as fake macam tu kan, all right? Okay, now, okay, let's move on from here. Okay, masa you buat virtual interview, okay, you kena test itu equipment dulu. Jangan masa interview, before interview, 9 o'clock is an interview, 8:50 we punya komputer kaput. Macam mana? So you kena buat testing a day before or half an hour earlier, you buat testing dulu. Make sure that everything is okay. Ada computer laptop, okay? And then if you don't have a computer laptop, sometimes you kaput, then you have a second contingency, other handphone, get ready a handphone, something like that, all right? So you cannot touch the equipment dulu, all right? And then you please look at the camera in the laptop. Don't look at something else. Look at macam tu, notes lah, macam tu. So you look at the camera, that means you're actually face to face with that person. Okay, face to face with the person. Okay. And everything that you prepare in the virtual interview is the same as when you're going for a physical interview. Prepare your question well, dress appropriately, and then masa online, you please face a light so that your face are lighted up. Don't sit in the darkness. All right. Usually you face daytime, you face the window so that you can get natural light. So these are important things, all right, to look at. Okay, how to shine at an interview? Be relaxed but respectful. Okay, relax. Good morning, sir. Okay, how may I address you, madam? All right. Be relaxed but respectful. Jangan duduk macam takut macam tu. All right. Because I think the relaxation comes before the interview. You can relax sendiri. Okay. All right. Sikap respect. Okay, if you're going for physical, bring a copy of your own resume. Your resume yang sudah send tu kan, you sudah send, tapi you also have in hand your own copy. Okay, an extra copy just in case the interviewer didn't have anything with him, that kind of thing. All right, because when the interviewer will say, please refer to this page. You're saying this. Can you tell me a bit more? You don't know what he's mentioning but you have the interview, the resume in your hand. You will know how to refer. Okay, this is very important. Write thank you note after interview. Berapa orang ada buat macam ni punya. Okay, tulis nota thank you selepas interview. Okay, why you want to do that? Lepas interview kan, there's one position as a manager, and the company has shortlisted 10 people, so they interview 10 people. You are candidate number 2. By the time they finish the candidate 10, they wouldn't have remembered you already. Okay. So a thank you note is something that you remind them, hey, that kind of thing. Remember me, that kind of thing. No, you don't say that lah. So usually what you do is just a simple email you do. Dear sir, I was the one. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to discuss my future employment with the company and all. During the interview, did highlight this. So I am grateful for this opportunity, and then I'm also looking forward to the opportunity to hear the positive news from you all. Thank you very much. Noted, sign, and things like that. So these are a very simple 3 or 4 lines kind of email to them. You probably send to the HR manager, because the interview panel you don't have the email number. Then you probably ask that just send to the HR manager, enough already. You get her notice or his notice. So the thank you note is very important, very important. Okay. It gives you a second chance at being noticed, and also is a courtesy. It is a good attitude to have. All right, to thank your interviewers. All right. Ini yang dalam masa interview jangan buat, is no lah. Jangan buat macam ni. All right. Okay. Okay, what are the things we're looking at? You're clueless about the company. The day before or something like that, you tak buat research. And then during the interview, you know what the company is doing. Ini company buat apa punya? What are you talking? You're supposed to be candidate. You're supposed to be interested in the job, and you don't know what the company is doing. Do some research, all right? And don't be late. Please don't be late. And appear not interested. You punya perangai macam tak berminat. Oh yes, sir. Okay, fine. All right. Bila masalah, kalau tengoklah yang mana company yang respons saya angkat itu kerja lah. Oh please, if you have the kind of attitude during the interview, God bless you lah. So it's very difficult because you appear that you're not minat. Kalau you tak minat, jangan mari interview lah, wasting people's time. So you have to show at least you're interested. Okay, ask the correct question, prepare yourself. When you prepare yourself, you'll be able to speak confidently. All right. And talk too much. Ada kena, or maybe say sell myself. Oh, start talking about so 10 minutes of selling your hard sales and talk too much. Just answer the appropriate question and then just pause. Let the interviewer ask the next question. You pause, cakap, pause, and then let the interviewer ask the next question. Talk too soon about money, does your company have this benefit? You are for other gym room there, other sport recreation club and stuff. How much is the coverage for medical benefits? How much is the salary? Oh, talk too soon about money, okay? You don't do that, okay? And never ask question. And the interviewer will ask, do you have any question for us? Oh, don't have so. Like I say, you prepare 1 or 2 questions, 2 or 3 questions, then this is the time to ask the question to show that you did your research, to show that you're interested in the company. If you're not interested in the company, why do you want to come for the interview? All right, there's a question here. How to appropriate answer if the employer asks about salary? Good question. Good question. Okay. Sometimes we will put, usually you would have put, you will say the same thing as you put in the resume. Salary karena ada expected salary kan. So you put, okay, if you're currently, your current job, you're actually getting 3,000. All right. You don't put like expected salary 6,000. Macam tu, all right. So probably you want to give it a little bit higher range from maybe 3,500. You put a range there. I'm getting 3,000 now, so my range would be 3,500 to 5,500. You give a range. No need to give, don't give an exact number. Give a range. That means 3 to 6K or 3 to 5K. More reasonable, right? Because you don't expect your salary to go down another 500 when you go for a new job. So usually jump 500 or 300 macam tu. So expected salary is 3,500 to 4,500 or 3,500 to 5,000. Reasonable. So that is, you give a range. That is the trick. That's the trick. But because at the same time, you also do not know exactly what is this they're paying, but probably they look at you, they look at your salary range. This is something that somebody that we will want. All right, that was a good question. All right, okay, good. Okay, let's move on. Ini dia. Don't trash a previous employer. Jangan kutuk majikan sebelumnya. Jangan kutuk. No matter how bad they are. Jangan kutuk. Why? Because you never know the interviewer and this current employer and that your previous employer are brothers, same family. Don't know, number 1. Okay? Number 2, whatever it is that you have problems with your previous employer or previous supervisor or previous manager, that is work. Okay? Nothing personal. So you don't take those personal feelings against your ex-employer and bring it in the interview. Oh, itu orang teruk punya boss itu blah 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 blah. Okay, and then the interviewer look at you and say, oh, ini orang banyak complain punya, not very good for the company, not very positive for the company. Dia punya character, because when you complain a lot during the interview, it shows that you got a very toxic character yang toxic, very negative punya. So when you give that kind of impression, you will not get an opportunity, for a second interview or something like that. That you give people a bit bad impression, not a very positive impression, right? The other reason why you don't trash your previous employer is, right, the world is round. The world is round, okay? The world is round, I mean the world is round. One day you may meet your previous employer again. You left the employment because you cannot work with the supervisor, your immediate supervisor. All right, and then you never know that in this current job, the new job you're going at, your supervisor also come here. Okay, so try not to trash your previous employer. You just be very normal about your employer and things like that, right? So try not to do that. All right, even how bad they are, because you had the opportunity to work in that previous job. So okay, fine, just leave it as that. You gain the experience, leave it as that. All right. Okay, madam, can you give us an example of the best question to be asked from the employer interviewer? Can be asked during the interview. The best question to be asked from the employer interviewer. Just now, I already went through the couple of questions that the employer will ask. Tell me about yourself. Why do you want to apply for this position? These things like that. These are some of the normal questions that they will ask. Basically, if there are more technical issues, if you are like going for an engineer job and things like that, they will probably ask technical question. Okay, all right. Ini yang very important lah. When you are interviewing, you probably want to look at why interviewers look at star factor. Interviewers actually, they seriously love to see this kind of things happening to the person that they're interviewing. That the interviewer, the candidate present themselves well. Present them, pakai baju yang okay, all right, appropriate, prepare question, do homework, okay, prepare yourself well, come early, all right, and engage in conversation. So when people are asking questions, you'll be able to talk, berbual dengan senang, okay, berbual dengan senang, engaging in conversation. Not like when people ask finish, then your answer is always yes, no, that kind of close-ended kind of thing. So you're very engaging in conversation, huh? All right. You can sell what you can offer. That means you need to strengthen your strength. Right? You need to strengthen your high points, advantage that you can do and things like that. Able to do that, to present yourself in a way. Remember the point, you sell 2 things about yourself and things like that. These are the things to look at. Do your industry homework. Okay, do your industry homework. If you're, let's say, in the what you call plastic company, you're in the plastic industry, and you're from what you call a different, you're in a F&B industry, and then you want to apply another position, higher position in a plastic factory, all right, that kind of thing. So you want to do more homework there. Research what the plastic industry have been doing, manufacturing, okay, or that electronic factory and things like that. So you need to do research in that particular industry. Jangan buta-buta go there and don't know what to ask, that kind of thing. So at least have a bit knowledge, other knowledge, okay, all right. You know what you're going in. Then there's another question here. Normally, how much is the reasonable increment that we can request for a new job? Let's say based on percentage. Percentage, oh wow. I'll give you a figure, around about figure, maybe 500. Okay, 500 macam itu, all right. Please don't go for 100. Not worth it. So 500 is a career progression. Usually like that lah, all right, like that. If let's say your current drawing 3,000 and then 500 is about 100%, then you can look at it. All right, okay, all right. Be reasonable, especially during time pandemic. Very susah for employers to give a very competitive salary lah. All right. And do send a good thank you note. Do that, please do that. All right, good thank you note. It reminds people, hey, you remember you interviewed me masa tu, was the guy who talking about this and things like that, right? Okay. Okay. If you can get a job that is called a job fit, job fit, all right? Pekerjaan yang sesuai, you really want this job, you apply for it, you will ask for an interview, and finally you get the job offer. Yeah, okay, yes, you're happy about it, you want to celebrate, okay? All right, job fit is very important. But you want to ask yourself, you're getting this job because you like the job and you can do the job, it's very good. So you call it job fit. You like environment, okay? You like environment and things like that. Okay, sometimes the job, the salary may be very good, but the environment tak fit you, okay? Because ini semua, sorry lah, it's a Chinese company or semua Cina, and then they speak Mandarin, they speak Chinese among themselves, and you're the only Malay or around. So do you think the environment is conducive for yourself? Can you adapt? Because sometimes like this is very, very, a little bit you unhappy, you can keep your mental health stress macam tu lah. Okay, so you need to know what's the job fit, all right? And okay, maybe some of you first job tomorrow, things like that, or you want to go higher in your career. If you look at this picture, it says you build a career. A career is something that you membina, okay? You build it slowly, one step, and then next step, and then next step, and next step, and next step, and next step. Okay, if you're looking at a very professional career, let's say you start as an HR assistant, human resource assistant, human resource clerk. Okay, you want to go up in the career, probably you want to do a diploma, do a degree in that. That helps you to go up further, all right? To be a good HR like me or something like that, to be good HR, I can tell you, to be a good accountant, professional job, you need 10 years to build professionally, all right? 10 years to build professionally, all right? Or you got a diploma in nursing, right? You become a staff nurse. You need at least 5 years, to build your career as a good nurse, a person who is very knowledgeable and skillful. So whatever job you are getting, if you think that you like the job and you need the job experience, take it. Some people, they try to be very choosy. They want to wait and wait and wait for the perfect, my dream job. Okay, there's no such thing as dream job. Okay, there's no such thing as this is the job that I want. Okay, I will work here forever because I'm happy with that. Because every job that we do, actually you gain the experience in this job, and then you go to the next one, which is a bit higher, then you gain experience, and you go to the next one, which is higher, then you gain experience. Probably it's the same career path, but then it builds you, all right? So you need to take it slowly and build your career, all right? Try not to be choosy. Try not to be choosy, okay? There's no such thing as dream job, so don't wait. Whatever is offered to you, and you think is something that you like doing, please go and take it, all right? I know what young people, they after graduating from college, they wait in the house for 6 months, waiting for the dream job, which never came. I said, whatever you do during the 6 months, do something with your life, move. Don't sit there and, keep dreaming, all right? There's a question here. Okay, question here says, how about, good question can be asked to the interviewer at the end of the session. Can you give us some other example, like instead of asking the working hours? May I ask if panel want to further my studies in this industry, got a better position? May I ask, better position under the company sponsorship? Wow. Okay, so I can see two things here, asking about working hours, and ask the viewer in the end of interview session, can you give us some examples instead of asking for the working hours? Like I said, ask about the company, all right? Ask about the company, what product do they do, what kind of may I know, is there any career planning for people in this kind of position? Career planning, you're not talking about sponsorship, huh? Is there opportunity for career planning? Is there opportunity for career progression? A very wide picture. Okay, of course, interviewer, a person who comes in, candidate who comes in at a certain position would want to ask about that, would want to be interested, all right, to ask about, is there any career progression plans for people in this kind of position? Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. All right, I hope that answered the question. Or get a better position under the company sponsorship. So that is a very, it depends on how you position your question now. All right, like I said, is there any career planning for people in this kind of position in your company? Because you're interested in coming and also interested in whether there is any career planning and things like that. All right, okay, good. Please keep the question coming. All right. Star qualities at work, quality and cemerlang di tempat kerja. So when you actually get your first job at your job, and then you're starting there, you're under 3 to 6 months probation and things like that, right? So this actually star qualities at work applies to anybody in any work environment. whether you're, especially when you're under probation, you need to impress, you need to impress. So it's aptitude versus attitude. Attitude is the way you think, okay? Aptitude is your IQ, how good you are, okay? People always say your IQ gets you the job. Your attitude gets you the promotion. You can very smart, you can be very smart, you're an A-star student, straight A semua. Tapi kalau you tak boleh kerja dengan orang, if you're the kind who always kira-kira, this one not my job, I won't do, this one not my job, I won't do. The attitude, you actually close the door for yourself for any promotion. So the way you think, if I do this much, would I lose out? So you kira-kira a lot. So the attitude is not very helpful for you in a workplace. And then you learn by doing. When you do something, you actually learn, you gain experience. So when you do extra work at work, right? Extra stuff at work, you're actually gaining a lot of experience, all right? So don't look at it as something, this one not my job, I don't do. Okay, because when you do that, when you gain experience, you actually grow as a person. You boleh matang, you mature as a person. Okay, this is actually your own learning experience, all right? So you look at it this way, you look at it this way. If you're not capable of doing that, your supervisor or your manager won't ask you to do that. It is because your supervisor or your manager or your MD thinks that you have the capability. So he asks you to take this project and do something extra. If he doesn't think that you have the capability, he won't ask you to do the job. So this is the opportunity. You're given the opportunity to shine, to do something. All right, okay, fine. There's another question here. Some company doesn't want to take an overqualified candidate. How can we convince them to take them work? Yeah, I got some people, they're belajar from diploma to degree straight to master, ada PhD semua baca, and then may not have work experience and all. So maybe you're overqualified a bit. All right. So in this pandemic time, the job is very competitive. So there's a lot of qualified people who graduate who don't have job. So how do you convince the company? Number one, you can say, pay me for the job I'm doing. That means the salary that you're getting is actually they're paying for a job, not for your qualification. All right. Because you're a master, you expect a master. It's okay. So you just pay me for the job, the salary range which you are paying for this job. That should be the way. All right. Okay. If the salary, the job is only needed a person with diploma, then you'll be paid that level. Probably a little bit higher than that, because you have a master or a degree, something like that. Okay. Number one. Number two, you can only convince them during the interview with your good attitude, with your willingness to be responsible, to do hard work, to go the extra mile. And this attitude, things that the characteristic you're looking for, you can only convince them within the 30 minutes in the interview. So what you're going to do is you're going to do a lot of preparation yourself. Prepare the question, do a good resume, CV, all right? Prepare your question, prepare how to answer question about yourself and things like that. If you present yourself well during the interview, these are the things that you can do to convince the panel, all right? To convince the panel. But at the end of the day, after you've done all this, after you've tried everything, and they still don't take you, it's okay. It's okay, because it doesn't take you, or maybe you may be a bit disappointed, all right? But then it doesn't take away your attitude towards being a good person, being a person who's willing to go the extra mile to get a job is okay. And please do not forget to write the thank you note after the interview. So this is the adage, learn by doing and gain by giving. So whatever extra job that you do at work actually is not a loss. It's not a loss. Jangan kira-kira sangat if you have attitude. Do it as an experience to gain something new. There's an opportunity to grow, to matang, okay? Okay, the other star quality we're looking at is EQ. I think everybody knows what EQ kan. EQ is to be aware of your emotions. When you're angry, to be able to regulate and don't let your temper fly. When you're unhappy about anything, you just cram and then you just keep quiet, you don't talk to people, and then you come to work with a long face. All right. So it shows that you be EQ not there yet. You're not able to manage your emotions. When you're long face at work, nobody comes there to come to you, no. All right. And then when the supervisor asks you to do things, you talk back because your mood terabyte. Okay, no. You need to be professional at work, whatever your duty. So unhappiness, whatever unhappiness you have at home, please keep it there first, and you settle it when you go home. So, but when you're at work, you need EQ. EQ meaning, okay, at the same time, to be able to see when you're talking to people, all right, when you're working in a team, there are people who are loud, there are people who doesn't say much, but when it comes to teamwork, everybody works together. So you need EQ for that, all right? EQ is also like when you see your boss not happy, you give him some time, right? When you see your boss not happy and then you still go into the office and ask for this, ask for that, request for this, request for that. Okay, you need to do work, but you find a time. That is EQ, to be able to see how people are feeling and look at the body language. You already know already. So give them time, they'll come back later, that kind of thing. So these are the EQ is very important skill in work. EQ is the one who gets you teamwork, is the one to make the work environment in a more harmonious way. EQ is the one that gets you the promotion. All right. IQ gets you the job. EQ gets you the promotion. Okay. All right. Okay, there's another question here. The question it says, is it sensible to ask the interviewer about the benefits gained for this position and the basic salary gain when the interviewer allows us to ask them anything? Benefit is like allowance, hostel, wow. Remember, there's one part I said, don't ask about money too quick. But if the interviewer allows you to ask, then you can ask, okay? So you may not ask about you may not ask about what is the salary range and things like that. So you can ask, right? So salary range is there. Probably you may ask, is there anything that the company are doing in terms of employee career progression? Okay, career progression and things like that, right? So the word benefit actually, so you can ask about what are the extra things the company is doing, okay, that kind of thing. So I think a hostel, all those things are quite normal, because if you're coming from outstation and things like, you can ask those kind of things at the end of the session. You can actually ask, but put it in a nice way, put it in a way that it doesn't appear that, okay, these are the things very important to me, blah blah blah. All right, okay. I hope that answers the question. And at the workplace, you need to be able to build relationship with your immediate superior, with your colleagues, membina hubungan dengan supervisor. However you don't like your boss, however you don't like your immediate manager, immediate supervisor, whatever you don't like about how she talk to people, the scolding people and things like that, okay, that one is not personal, remember that one is work relationship. However you don't like it, you need to build a good, I won't say a good relationship, you need to build a work relationship so that you'll be able to work together. Unless you want to leave the job, that is different. You don't have to like him and things. You don't have to like your supervisor, but you need to work together. So at least the perhubungan tu mestilah sesuai sikit lah, membina sikit lah. All right, so that is one to make yourself happy also lah, that kind of thing. You always think about what they say and how he scold you and things like that, and they're very unhappy already. Okay. Okay, it says here, there's another question that says, okay, what question is it? Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay. This is the final one. If you're at work in any place, employer employs you, because they have a problem at work. They don't have the resources, they don't have enough people to do the job. That's why they employ you. So you come in, you are the solution. So when you are the solution, meaning when you at work, you do not give problem to the employer and be the problem. You be the solution, not the problem. So you come up with ideas that can help the company, build the company. These are the constructive things that we're looking at for employee. So it's important for you to remember that when you're there, don't give people problem, come to work good enough, that kind of thing. Don't be like absent all the time. You don't care about your job. You don't talk to people. So because you're having a problem already, because you don't talk to people, you don't come on time, you don't do your job, you are not a good team worker. All right. So be the solution, not the problem. Okay. And self-care is very important now, because everybody is having mental health issue here. So you need to take care of your health, self-care. Self-care means you take care of your own mental health, take care of your own physical health. That's important. If you don't do that, then you're sick mentally and you're sick physically. How to go to work? How to do that? So you can't do that. So you need to have self-care. So self-care is not somebody do for you. You do yourself. That's called self-care. All right. That's the end of my talk. So can I have further questions? All right. So I will stop sharing here. There's a question here. What are the best way to ask about salary given and working hours? Best way to ask about salary given and working hours. Okay, what are the best way to ask about salary given and working hours? Working hours you can know. Okay, may I ask what are the working hours? Fine, very straightforward. Okay, may I ask how much is this position worth? So probably may I ask the salary range for this position offered? There's a range. Okay, usually they give you a range. When you're asking for this one, also you're asking for a range. Okay. Okay, that's for me. All right. I would appreciate any other question is okay. All right, fine. I would appreciate question is okay. More question here. That's what done. So tomorrow, how many can Rafiq tell me how many companies are there tomorrow?
About 7.
Oh, okay. Kevin, 7. Yeah. So I hope this I'll give you some time to ask some questions. Any more questions? All right.
Sure.
Anything about salary, ask for the range. Don't ask for exact figure. You know, range 1,000, the range 3,000 to 4,000. I can do. All right. All right. Any other question you want to ask? Rafiq, you got any question?
No. So kita buka lagi satu soalan jika ada. Kalau tak ada kita akan tutup ah. Boleh ya?
So thank you for having me. I hope from the talk you'll be able to pick up some points, and good luck to your interview tomorrow.
Okay, madam, saya rasa tiada. Jadi kami daripada PASAK ingin mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih kepada Miss Mabel atas perkongsian yang sangat menarik itu. Jadi diharapkan semua peserta dapat mengambil input seberapa banyak yang mungkin dan membuat persiapan yang rapi untuk interview pada esok dan lusa hari. Jadi saya juga mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih kepada semua peserta yang sudi hadir pada hari ini. Dan untuk esok diminta semua hadir seawal 8:30 pagi lah. Kita akan adakan interview pada pukul 9 pagi. So be prepare. Jadi saya untuk mengakhiri program pada pagi ini, saya minta kerjasama semua peserta untuk buka kamera ataupun video untuk kita adakan sesi fotografi dan kita akan tamatkan selepas itu. Jadi saya minta kerjasama semua untuk buka kamera ya. Okay, ready ya? Dalam kiraan 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, lagi satu. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Dengan itu
Bye bye
berakhirlah
everybody. Thank you for listening.
Okay, baik. Terima
And good
kasih
luck.
Miss.
Esok.
Okay, dengan itu berakhirlah sesi kita pada pagi ini. Diharap semua dapat hadir pada esok dan lusa hari. Terima kasih.